Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and today I'm going to talk about Havoc. This is the kind of return to action movies from the great Gareth Evans, who was the director of The Raid and The Raid 2. This film is sort of a tribute to kind of the John Woo, kind of whatever the term is, hard-boiled, the killer kind of movies, which you can tell, but still in his kind of crazy Gareth Evans style. It is about a kind of dark and gritty city that's got all this serious stuff. It's all dark and people use guns and real serious. And after a drug deal gone bad involving the mayor, a guy who's going to be the mayor's son, Tom Hardy, who's a police detective who's under the wing of this mayor guy, has to find him before all the gangs come and kill him because they're blaming him for this drug deal that goes wrong, and all the various mob and political implications as Tom Hardy tries to find this guy before someone else does. This is very much playing like, dark and gritty and like a city. They don't tell you what city, I don't think, and like everything's messed up and like, oh, don't go in there, it's so fucked up and all this stuff. And it's very much projecting like this is like a grime gritty action movie. There's certain elements I like about that. I'd say this is like that part in the Raid 2 where they talk a lot that you forgot about. It's a lot of that. And I don't think Gareth Evans' strong suit is me hearing about all the various, mob enforcer people and they're all friends and stuff. It also doesn't help that he then, guns those motherfuckers down as soon as he has a really cool sequence. Like, he just, it's real scorch earth with characters you openly hear and learn about, and then they just, almost all of them die at some point. You're just and they don't just get shot once. They get shot, 30 times and go, and, all that stuff. It's, pretty crazy. I think this reminded me why I liked him, which I think is the point of this is his return to action, which everyone has wanted. I don't think Hollywood oddly ever worked out how to get Gareth Evans to America, and this, I guess, is the best attempt with some pretty cool sequences. But I think the one in the club, which is amazing, and then the one at the end, which are the crazier ones, but then there's one at the beginning which kind of highlights one of the bigger issues I have with it, which this whole sequence where the cops are shooting people and then they start throwing actual washing machines at the cops, which of course kills, really fucks them up if you get hit by a washing machine. That's not, in case you're wondering. That sequence and everything with the mayor's son is in love with this girl really doesn't work because you don't really know them very well. In fact, the opening sequence, I didn't know the other sequences. I sort of knew people, but that one, I didn't know anyone. It felt kind of empty, and I just think this director Gareth Evans is really good at the fight stuff and looking cool and all that, but anything to do with the inner workings of the mob political scene has never really been his strong suit, nor do I want it to be or want him to spend that much time on it. I'd much rather see the fighting, which the fighting is very good. It's obviously trying to do the gun thing. I would say it's very noticeable Iko Uwais, I think that's how you say his name, is not in this movie. And Tom Hardy, is a great actor, and there's a lot of good actors in this, but there's a difference between being a martial artist and an actor. And I think Iko Uwais had the amazing sequences, and it was so awesome to see him fight these people and stuff. And I don't have that with Tom Hardy. It's just a general everyone's going to bring about the chaos thing, which doesn't really hit as hard. You want the reason John Wick is this huge modern action movie is you want to see Keanu fight all these guys, shoot all these guys. When in the Raid movies you have Iko Uwais there and he's kicking ass and taking names and all this stuff, you want to see the amazing sequences with him. In this movie, I just didn't think Tom Hardy did that, or at least that's not the way it's written. And there is a difference between a martial artist and an actor, and I think a martial artist would play this a lot better. They're sort of trying to get to some sense of reality in this movie, which I think is a bit silly because I think most people just want them to get to the action sequences. I also kind of think took way too long for this kind of a movie. It is I've heard a lot of people say as far as Netflix action movies or Netflix movie is actually fairly good. I will agree with that, but it's sort of grading on a curve that very much works in this movie's favor. Like, you can tell, like, regardless if I like it or not, I love that fight scene in the club with the guns and all. It was amazing. The end part was amazing. Like, there's a lot of, like, really great sequences in this, and it does show you, like, Gareth Evans still has it. I think he just needs to find an action star, which Tom Hardy is a great actor. And a lot of these people are great actors, but they're not. I didn't see an action star in it, which I think, like, I don't know. I've run into this a few times in a few movies where it's like all the Hollywood systems working towards it, even if it doesn't even make sense to work. And I'd say, like, this is sort of that, although I can see people putting this on. It's just like, I'm comparing this to The Raid, which isn't fair because The Raid's one of the best action movies of the past decade, but in the 2010s at least, like one of the best. But like this, I don't know, it's like fun, but like it really needs a charismatic action star, which Tom Hardy, great actor, but isn't. Everything with like Timothy Oliphant, like all the dirty cops and like the mob over here and like this thing, it did get like too complicated, and I wish like they have more fight sequence, just because, you know, you could kill off those people and I could go, oh, that's what they do, right? All right, I get it, we're good. But like it was fun seeing people try to do the John Woo thing and like bring his own spin on it. But man, he needs an action star. It's just like very evident the whole movie. I was like, this is good, but like you need like Iko Uwais would have killed it, you know, like those sequences, like the club thing and the end thing and like all that, he would have destroyed it. But like that's not what happened with this movie. You know, I think what this movie is like an action director kind of working through something within the studio system or working through talents and stuff. But I mean, it's just been too long to just like have this sort of odd riff of movie. I wanted to really get into it and with an action star. And I do think there is a difference. And I think, you know, Iko Uwais couldn't have, you know, done as the kind of acting Tom Hardy has done. But I think Tom Hardy and, you know, anyone else involved in this could have like brought it maybe a little bit more possibly. It just didn't really, just really was not able to sing without an action star. You know, it's just like a bunch of cops, like, you know, doing this sort of one night thing, hunting for this guy and all this stuff, but has vibes of like, you know, The Warriors and various one night movies. But I think it is, I don't know, I'd say extremely cynical, but cynical in that way, like a teenager is cynical. You're like, I don't know if I buy this. I feel like you're just doing it to look cool. This movie definitely is like, no, I'm cool. I'm wearing my sunglasses at night. You're like, okay, are you gonna just trip a lot or something? Like it just really felt like it's really pushing the edginess of this, like how dark it is and like how messed up and everything, you know. It's a fun action. If you want to watch people shoot each other, it's so much more solid than just like their usual Netflix action stuff, which always feels rushed and like they didn't give any notes or something like that. That is not this. This is a solid action movie type of thing. I think Gareth Evans can do more. We've seen him do more, and I think he would work better with an actual action star. It's a very solid action movie. I quite enjoyed it. I was surprised at how much violence is that it is really hard R. Say it's sort of worth it. We kind of need to look back on, you know, the house that John Woo built and look at like what he did with it. Maybe it's time to replicate that with his own style, and that's a good thing. But I don't know. It just has too many complications when I just want to see people punch each other in the face, and I don't want to know about all this other nonsense. I'm just here to watch someone get punched in the face. As long as someone gets punched in the face, I'm good. But if there's like, you know, we're having to hear about like, oh, he's my brother, and you know, in this mob, this means this, it's like, no, I really don't care. It is about the journey of the night, and I think Havoc does that pretty well, at least. I just feel like this director could do more, and maybe at one point Hollywood will let him, or Netflix will let him, or he can bring Iko Uwais over and really show what he can do with a great action star, which this is a fine movie. It's a fun movie. It doesn't really have a great action star in it. And depending on your mood on action movies, it can be sort of detrimental to your enjoyment. I still think I had fun. It's fun seeing them go back to that kind of 80s, 90s style and how they used it was at least interesting. I think this is Havoc is a good return to form. It reminded me of who Gareth Evans was, I guess. Even though the whole time I'm like, man, those Raid movies are pretty good. So I hope whatever he does next keeps pushing that forward, and maybe we can get the kind of direction he had in the Raid. It's been a few years and he's been working on this forever, so I guess we're stuck with what we're stuck with here, but it is a good time of an action movie. I sort of wish maybe you just had the people that, if it's a real return to form, Gareth Evans should have the stars that brought him that form in the first place. But if he doesn't have that, I guess this is a fun action movie that reminded me why I first got into action movies with John Woo. It reminded me of what's so cool about Gareth Evans. And it's kind of nice to see his kind of crazy action once again. So if you've seen Havoc and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments and subscribe if you would like to.